gentlemen, welcome to X Marks the Box. Episode 78 is the first one of 2024. My name is Potato, and I'm with my good friend, Alice. How you doing, Alice?
Hi, and my pronouns are she, they, and it's also the podcast could be the first episode where there's 5 people on it, but that's where I get to realize that it's actually a joint podcast with the InPSWeTrust guys. So they'll be uploading a new episode, and for the topic of the week, we're all doing the Fantasy Critic League.
Yes.
And that's where all 5 of us in. It's been planned for months. We're hoping to join together and have this huge medley of all this fun stuff. And to spoiler that, I think it's so manic and there's so much fun stuff.
Always fun.
As well as like bashing Lewis as well.
Yeah, so if you've watched the podcast last year, we did a fantasy draft, which was just me and Alice, and we also made a team for the PlayStation Nation, the PlayStation guys in InPSWeTrust. I gave them games some fantastic games such as Forspoken and Exoprimal, and what was that game with Chuck Norris in it? What was it called? Rocky City.
Oh, is it Crime City, is it?
Yeah, Rocky Crime City.
Oh, that Rocky City.
Yeah. And so they're a bit annoyed, so they want to do a proper fantasy league with us this year, which is fair enough. So we got all 3 members of the InPSWeTrust guys. It's got me and Alice, and we've done a 5-person draft league, and it's a lot of fun, and that's going to be our topic of the show today, which we'll be going into in about 5-10 minutes. But at first, we just wanted to talk about what we've been playing over the Christmas period, because it's the first episode we've done since 2024. Happy New Year, guys. So what have you been playing over Christmas, Alice?
Happy New Year. A bit belated, really.
Belated New Year, yeah.
Well, for Christmas, I received Sonic. Yeah, it's Sonic Superstars. Ooh. It's the only game I got for Christmas. And my nephew's got like a Switch, and I've also been playing Sonic Superstars with it too. But he's got like Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, as well as like I think it's Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. No, Let's Go Pikachu. But he's really enjoying Super Mario Odyssey, and it's like also enjoys a lot of Mario Kart with his family as well, especially my sister. So it's like, hey. But for me, it's Sonic Superstars. And apparently I was like not so fussed about it, but I just heard some good things about it. So I just went in and played it. So it's like, yeah, it's fun. It's good for the while. But 2 things is that the music is just like, it's hit and miss. Some parts of it is just like some cheesy music. Sounds like Sonic the Hedgehog 4. And parts of it is just like, sounds really good as it's done by T-Lopes, but yeah, also the boss battles are like a pin in the neck.
Yeah, I've not played it yet. I've really wanted to play it. I mean, you think it's worth playing? Because I'm not a massive Sonic fan, but I did enjoy Sonic Mania. I mean, is it in the same league as Sonic Mania, or do you think it's like? Well, what do you think? I have not played it. You'd have to tell me.
Well, I would say it's a mix between Sonic the Hedgehog 4 and Sonic Mania. It's got the physics of Sonic Mania, but I also felt it's more like Blinks the Time Sweeper because it has those elements of the game that's made by R2, and then they became Arcest, who's been working in Balan Wonderland, and then they just end up working in Sonic Superstars. And you definitely tell there's a bit of Balan Wonderland and there's Blink's Time Sweeper because you have difficulty spikes and annoying bosses as well. So, but I think this is the kind of game that if you want to play on your own, you'll have a lot of fun. But once you get to the end of the game, you just get so frustrated with the final boss fights. There's 3 different final boss fights in total. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, just that you've got a mobile campaign, you play through it, there's a huge grind to get all the metals, which is enough to buy the robot parts, which ends up only used in the single player campaign, but the battle mode is like iffy. Yeah. And then there's another campaign, is like the hard version of the mobile one. Right. But the boss fights in it is just atrocious. And it took me hours to beat all the final bosses in the game is like, oh my gosh, like
God.
I was luckily being able to beat all of it,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad because there's a couple of things. It's just like, oh, it's just so annoying. I felt this is going to take all night, but I beat it in hours. But I think some people, which I saw in YouTube comments of their related videos, is that it took them days, if not months, to beat it, and they're just like, oh, this is too hard.
Yeah.
And it just tells about these being the hardest boss battles in Sonic history, and not even joking. Like compared to like Sonic Unleashed and there's Sonic 06.
Yeah.
These boss battles that even though the game is not that terrible and runs well on the Switch, which I got it for, it's still like hard as balls. Even some of the stages are a bit cheap as well.
Fair enough. I've not, as I said, I've not played it, but that sounds annoying. When it gets reduced on sale, I'll probably buy it. I think when it goes on sale, I'll probably, because I do want to try it because I do like a good Sonic game occasionally. But yeah.
Yeah. I suggest you wait for the sale on that because because I got Sonic Origins for 50% off, and that's perfectly fine for the price. And then a few weeks ago, it's like Ruby Rarafell is 50% off, so I'm just totally fine buying it because I think that's really well deserved for the game. That supposedly only comes out. You can only that it only lasts for like 6 hours in total, and doesn't justify the £25 stuff. Even though it's made by WayForward, but I haven't tried it out yet. So
fair enough. I need to try it out. It's like yeah. So is there anything else you've been playing, or is it just Sonic Sonic Superstars?
I think in terms of like games received during Christmas, I think that's all I got. But I've also got like candles, desk lamp, and some like drawing tools. But then I think it just gets to the point where you just appreciate for having lots of chocolate, wine, and even like lots of books as well. So I think that's what really makes up Christmas. But I think we're already getting a little bit has a bit of resistance to wine because I've been drinking so much wine every week, and I feel like I just want to switch to squash or even Coke.
Cane or a cola? I'll never tell.
Cola, yes. Pepsi.
Yeah, I got for Christmas. I got for Christmas. I got a load of random stuff as well. I got socks and chocolates and all that. I got a smart speaker. I'm not going to say what name it is because it'll activate and start talking to me. And I got
Alexa.
Yeah, that's the one. Luckily, you're not a loudspeaker. It can't hear you. Yeah, it does. I like it, but it can be annoying sometimes. But yeah, I got one of those, and I also got Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is okay. I haven't played much of it.
Very nice.
I've done the intro, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's too much talking. And I thought I like the old school Assassin's Creed because of the gameplay, but now I've realised I liked it because it was Renaissance Italy. I just like the setting and I like the world. This is all like an old, like what's it called? The Crusades time period. And it's all like just sand and yeah, it's not the most fun. It's like drab environment. It's not the most colourful or exciting. Like going around Florence and jumping on over Venice, jumping on boats and stuff, and going over the rooftops in like Renaissance Italy. It was so much cooler. I don't know. Assassin's Creed 2 is my favourite, and this one's nowhere near as good. But it's alright. It's Assassin's Creed at the end of the day. They're all very similar. To be honest, ever since Pal World came out, I've dropped playing it.
Yeah.
Because I'm obsessed with Pal World. Because I love Pokemon.
I think we can definitely check it out because we might have a video on Power World because I haven't checked it out yet.
Oh, you have to. It's great.
But I've been hearing a lot about Power World, and I thought, wow, this is really good. I think it might be worth checking it out. But apart from that, I struggled to get into Assassin's Creed because I only got into the first game and I haven't got back to it. Even though I got Assassin's Creed 2 series
the best one.
from waiting to be downloaded on the Xbox. And I also got Assassin's Creed Origins on disc, and I think it's still like mint condition because I haven't actually ripped it open and played it. It just tells how much like I want to get into the series, but I still haven't got into it. But I would rather like play Mass Effect instead of like Assassin's Creed. So
for me, Assassin's Creed 2 is the best one, or Assassin's Creed 4. Those are the best ones. 4, you're a pirate called Conway, and he's a Welsh pirate, and it's like really fun. You could like sail around the Caribbean and stuff. And the second one, you're Ezio, and you're running around like Florence and Venice in like the Renaissance period, and it's just really colourful and awesome, and I love it. As I said, I thought it was the gameplay that made me love Assassin's Creed 2, but it is the world. I just don't like the world of Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's so beige and boring. It's just not very. I'm not a fan of it.
sandy, I guess.
Yeah, really, yeah. And that's all we've really been playing over Christmas, is it? I mean,
It definitely.
go on. Sorry.
I think to me, it's just Assassin's Creed Mirage could be thought of as sandpaper, really.
It's not great. I want to go back to it, but there's so many other good games that I've got on my backlog that I want to go back and play first. So, like Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2. I want to go back and play Hellblade 1 because Hellblade 2 looks amazing. I mean, we haven't really talked about the developer direct either since the beginning of the year, but we do have our full reactions on the YouTube as well. If you want to see our reactions to the developer direct, because that happened recently as well. Yeah, there's a load of really stuff I want to play, and Assassin's Creed is not high on my list. Put it that way.
To summarize it, that I find that Indiana Jones and Avowed to be the most interesting of the lot, but I think all of the games have still got really good potential as well.
Oh yeah.
So wait and see.
Wait and see. And that leaves us. So that is what we've been playing, and that leads us on to our topic of the show, which is our super crossover episode. The Avengers have nothing on us here. This is the crossover of X Marks the Box and InPSWeTrust. All 5 cast members, all drafted, and all 4 of them pissing me off. You'll see what I mean as we get into it.
Well, I think you have to find out.
Spoilers.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. But I think you could say there's Avengers, but I think it's more a case of Avengers versus the Justice League. But now it's just like, what's the other crossover?
Iron Man?
You end up having people going through. Yeah, you could be.
Yeah,
I could be a Scarlet Witch. But
well, that's good. Yeah, we'll do that.
But anyway, so. But then, I always thought of Iron Man as Onion Man, so. Or you could just have an Iron Chef, but whatever.
Ooh, potato.
But anyway, before we get on, it's a huge one, and I hope you enjoy it. But I would give some kind of warning that I don't know how the audio is going to come out because it's been edited by the InPSWeTrust guys.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's been recording my webcam audio that it doesn't sound that bad to Lewis, and that's promising. Fine.
Yeah.
But if you feel that the audio if the audio has dipped during the whole thing, then I'd like to apologize in advance because I forgot to check the settings and couldn't switch over to my better microphone. So if you have any concerns, then that might be it. So yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to thank the InPSWeTrust guys for having us on, and actually for recording and editing the draft for us this year. I did set up the draft, but they did all the hard work with the recordings and stuff. So I would like to thank them for that as well. So without further ado, let's jump into the draft. We will be back after the draft to. Well, Alex has a question for me, so we're gonna have the final question, and we're gonna wrap up the show after the draft. So enjoy. See you in a minute.
Hey, stop! It's hammer time.
Stop! Topic time. And we have arrived at the topics, and today's topic is an absolute doozy, a juicer, if you will. We have been joined by X Marks the Box's own Potato Chief and Alice, together bringing up the Xbox contingent. And why did we bring them on, or why have we combined our forces together? Well, we're doing a fantasy draft. Now, Lewis, I've never done one of these before. on your show, you've done this a few times, you and Alice. Give us the rules. Give us what's going on. How does this all work? Lay it all on us.
So yeah, today we are doing the Fantasy Critic Draft. You might have seen it on the internet. A couple of YouTube creators have done this in the past. We did this last year. I won by it was like 0.1 of a point. It was very close. So I'm not going to brag too much. You guys came last, but you didn't really take part. I kind of just made a team for you. You had Forspoken, which was awful. So there you go. And Exoprimal, which was, I thought you guys would appreciate that. But yeah, we take turns picking games, and you want to pick the games that you think are going to review the best on Metacritic. We've got 6 games in total. It's going to be a snake draft, so whoever goes last gets 2 picks, and then it goes back to the other direction, the way it came. So it's all fair. And essentially the aim of the game is to try and get games over 75 points on Metacritic. So don't pick anything crap like Redfall. Like who would do that? What idiot would pick Redfall? Yeah. So essentially, we're gonna get started with the draft as soon as everyone's ready. We've all got our teams. So I'm top of the draft at the moment. It's Potato Chief, aka Potato Pro Gaming, and then we have Phil's team. Phil, do you want to tell us about your team?
Yeah, sure. And before I introduce my team, let me just introduce and welcome Alice, I suppose, to our crowd, our InPSWeTrust audience, because it's the first time, Alice, you're on the show. So welcome.
Hi, my pronouns are she, they, and I'm very honoured to be part of this podcast. Because I think quite for a long time, Lewis is like a recurring guest whenever there's anything Xbox. But I think, to be honest, speaking as a general gamer, I'm just more of a skeptic, and I have been distancing myself with games quite often. So it's just like, I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to PlayStation, like Xbox, Nintendo.
Well, welcome to the show, and what an introduction that was for our crowd. But welcome to the show, Alice. Just to move this on quickly, my team name is Venomous Media. That's the team name I've gone for today. Okay, and to swing this round, number 3 on the list, we've got Alice, the person I've just introduced to the show. So let's hear your team name.
I have a team called Newbie Softworks.
Then we have Spencer, your team. Would you like to tell us about your amazing team name?
Sure, yeah. So for my team, it was originally County Creations, because I'm from Newport. We have Newport County, but we had to reset the draft. So now I forgot about that old name. So now I'm just Games. No connotation, nothing insinuated. It's just Games. Just, spelled a bit more fun.
Yeah, very joyful spelling.
Yeah, it's happy.
Yeah, it's the happy spelling.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly right, my friend.
And then bringing up the rear is myself, SSJ Productions, coming in hot. It's one of those up-and-coming publishers, that really striking gold in looking for original experiences. So I'm looking forward to bringing my list, and hopefully you all don't nick my gems. All right? That's the big thing I'm asking here. Don't nick my stuff. But we'll see how it all pans out. Lewis, how do we go about beginning this entire thing?
I'm just going to essentially click the button that says start the draft, which is I'm about to do that right now. We're going to go in a random order, so good luck. Hope everyone gets the placement they want. Who's the first one? Spencer, you're first. I'm last. Bloody hell. All right, well, fine. Right, and the draft has begun.
There we go, draft game. So I've got my watch list, which is a list of games you can set up ahead of time. Games you kind of got your eye on. So out of my watch list, the first game I think I'm going to go with is Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door remake.
Bastard.
Just because, bro, Nintendo do not miss on the Metascores. So that's my first draft. I think it's going to hit big numbers. So there we are. That's what I'm going with.
I thought no one was going to take that. God damn it.
Oh, there you go. Right. Well, that's a strong first choice pick there, mate. Definitely wasn't going to be on my list. I've never played Paper Mario. Doesn't mean anything to me. But happy for you, and I hope it all pays off. And fortunately, wasn't on my list, so you're not taking one of my babies. So that's fine. So, Alice, across to yourself.
Next one, easy. Hellblade 2. I'm gonna have a lot of fun.
Why are you all taking my
good.
stuff? Stop taking my stuff. What are you doing? Ah!
Don't worry, at least there's like WWE 25.
Do you have maybe an estimate on how you think Hellblade's going to score?
Well, I think I would say this is a gamble. It's either be the best game of the year, or it could be the worst game of the year, or like Redfall. But then I think the Hellblade 2, I think it just really varies. If it wins, it's good for me.
Okay, right. Well, coming across to me, for my choice, I've gone for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Coming for the second part of the remake trilogy for Final Fantasy VII. I think it's going to be a really, really strong game coming out in a couple of weeks' time. And I was debating whether or not this is going to be my number 1 or 2, but I've decided it's going to be my number 1. I'm taking it before anyone else takes that motherfucker. So that is now secured in my backlog. Happy with that one, boys. And I suppose, Phil, with that one out of the way, let's bring it on to your first pick.
Okie doke. Thank you very much for the introduction. And before Lewis picks it, and I think Alice just alluded to one of the picks that, always reviews quite strong. And I think they've been on a bit of a tear lately since they changed development studios. I'm going for WWE 2K24. I know the last one scored around the 82 mark. The 82 mark on Metacritic. So I've gone for the 2024 version before Lewis can pick it.
That's so cruel,
Nothing
mate.
to...
Oh no!
He
Please
continues
don't
to
take
just
it.
keep on mining down into Lewis's backlog, doesn't he? Just any chance he gets a chance to just put him down a little bit as the Xbox gamer. And now he's going after his personal passions as well. Phil, you're taking it to a whole new level of villainy here.
Also, I've been watching wrestling a hell of a lot lately. I've been dropping in wrestling quotes all the time into our show, and I'm hoping that Lewis picks up on them, or some of our viewers and some of our listeners. So, I've been to see wrestling. I'm a big fan these days. So, there we go. Woo! Let's go. Sorry, Lewis. You got 2 picks anyway, so, choose Death Stranding too.
No, I'm honestly, Phil, there's no way in a million years I would pick WWE 2K24. They're so inconsistent. Their reviews can be like, woo, woo. 2020 was like a 4 out of 10 or something. I'm like, nah, I'm not risking that this year. No chance. No chance in hell. Wrestling reference. Yeah, so I got 2 picks because I'm last. To be honest, apart from Hellblade, they didn't take the 2 picks I wanted, so I'm okay actually. I'm all right. So we're gonna go with the ones I wanted to go with. My first choice is foam stuff. No, I'm joking. So my first choice.
Take it, please.
Have it, lad.
My first choice is the game that just ended the Xbox Developer Direct. It is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Apart from the New Blood, I think it's the New Blood. Machine Games have not made a bad game, so I'm totally. I think I've got faith in them. I think they can do well here.
I think that's a really, really strong choice. And to be honest, even with the, I think I keep want to call it the Old Blood, but that's just a Bloodborne reference. But yeah, even that DLC campaign was really good. So I'm a huge fan of them. And this is the game. I'm always talking about games that could make me potentially buy an Xbox. This is definitely one of them. So yeah, great choice, Lewis. Happy with that one. I'm
very excited for this game. This is going to be my first pick, no matter what. So I'm kind of glad that you got it before me. So I'm really happy. That's going to be my first pick. So
the only thing I would say is I feel this may have a chance to get, because it's a Bethesda game, it'll probably get a Starfield treatment like last year.
Yeah, get a 7 out of 10, even though it's a masterpiece. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's very frustrating. But yeah, my second
Throwing
game...
around masterpiece.
Masterpiece, bro.
Yeah. My second game, when I was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, I said this is my most anticipated game. It is by Obsidian, which is Xbox's premium developer, probably the best developer in Xbox. It is Avowed. I have faith in these guys. They made really good games. They made The Outer Worlds. They made Fallout New Vegas. This is their version of Elder Scrolls. I have faith. I'm holding the faith that these guys are going to pull off a masterpiece here. So that is my second pick. And Phil, we're back to you, buddy.
Well, seeing as everybody's pulling out the Nintendo cards, I think I might pull one out myself. And I think I'm going to go for the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD that's upcoming. I know that's a remaster of the Nintendo Switch 3DS Luigi's Mansion game. And Luigi Mansion games, they always score pretty damn high. So Luigi Mansion 1, 74. Luigi Mansion 3, 86. So some big scores there. So I'm going to go for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
I forgot to mention as well, they usually ban remakes and remasters, but I have made that available to people in this draft this year, so you can pick remakes and remasters. Because I thought that was more interesting. So yeah, we got more options. And also DLCs are also available. So yes. Good pick, Phil. I like it.
Really, really strong pick there, Phil. I think you're taking a good couple of gambles with your list so far, Phil. I appreciate it because you're not picking any of my gems. So I'm more than down for that. So my next pick is Helldivers 2. It's my most anticipated game of the year. It had to be here. The game that comes out in only 2 weeks from now. And it's going to take over my goddamn life. I cannot wait. I don't know how it's going to do. Because certain places for Helldivers 1, it ended up with an 81 on Metacritic when I checked earlier on. Which was surprising to me. Because I know some outlets gave it like a straight up 9 or a 10. And then other people thought it was probably a bit too hard. And so they just dunked on it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not too sure. It is a bit of a question mark, but I couldn't overlook the fact that it's just my most anticipated game. So it's got to be there.
I mean, yes, fair enough.
I was so tempted to pick it because I knew that was your first pick.
I almost picked
I
it.
thought that was going to be your first pick, Davey, and I was like, you didn't pick it. So I was like, ooh, I might pick it just to be spiteful. I was going to be spiteful, but I was like, nah, I'll be nice. I'll just pick Xbox games.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you both.
I knew you wanted it. I could have been spiteful.
Well, thank you, Lewis. Thank you, Alice. And Spence, I'm sorry I took that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I almost picked it, actually, but then I decided to pick Hellblade 2 just to see Lewis's reaction to it.
Oh, there's a lot of politics going on here. A lot of party politics. Well, I'm sorry, Spence, for nicking that from you. I know that's a game that you probably would have enjoyed having.
It's a game that I would have wanted just from my own anticipation, but I don't think it's going to review well, just because we've talked about in the past. Reviewers play games on easy. Helldivers is not an easy game. And it doesn't have the legacy of FromSoft where they're going to have to give it high numbers. So I don't think it's going to score over 75. Otherwise, I would have put it on my list.
Wow. So that ends mine. Alice, over to you for your number 2 draft pick.
Okay. So I think for this one, I'm going to pick Stalker 2 as another risky game to put in.
That's on my list, but it's a good one. Stalker 2 is definitely... I was hoping I could pick that up later, so damn. That's a good one. It's meant to be coming out this year. It looks promising. So, and again, another Xbox exclusive. Hopefully, it'll be good. Fingers crossed. Good pick.
Any bets to what Spence is going to draft in next of some sort?
Foam Stars, definitely 100%.
Yeah, I'm feeling it's definitely going to be some kind of Exoprimal DLC. I think that would be a strong choice for Spence. He's a big fan of that game. But instead of betting on it, let's just find out. Spence, give me your number 2 and kick off the draft for number 3.
Sure. So, to be fair, you guys did mention DLC. It's not Exoprimal DLC, as much as I love that game.
Okay. Damn shame.
It. But it is DLC for Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 Night Springs DLC is supposed to be coming out in spring 2024. We all know Alan Wake is a near perfect game, if not perfect. Scored exceptionally well. Didn't take any awards home, but it damn deserved them. So I'm giving Alan Wake Night Springs my next choice.
When you said DLC, I was sure you were going to pick something else.
No.
When you said DLC, I was like, oh, I know what he's picking. And then you said Alan Wake. I'm like, oh, nope, never mind.
Yeah, I know. But he does have another pick, so I don't want to, tempt fate here. So speaking of, what's the next one then, mate? Kick it off. Don't do it to me.
I could do it to you, but I'm not going to do it to you. My next pick, or so my third pick for this draft, I'm actually going to pick Persona 3 Reload, which is the new release of Persona 3. Which I think is going to do exceptionally well because it is a phenomenal game that has been hidden away for years on a platform that no one plays. So, Persona 3 is my next choice.
I was going to get that. Fucking.
I never would have been able to predict like where you're going with this. Like you and Phil are doing me so many favors, and you're playing the game.
Yeah.
You're playing the fucking game here.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're playing the game. So a good thing. Unfortunately for Lewis, you're screwing him over at every single turn. So Lewis seems to be the one who's really losing out here. I do feel Lewis, I really do. But Alice, it's time for your next draft pick. What have you got on the docket?
I'm going to stick with a solid Delta. So.
Oh, Alice, that one cut deep. That one cut deep. I definitely would have had that one. Great choice. Absolutely great choice. Phil, I bet that cuts you a little bit, done it as well?
Well, I don't know if it was actually going to make my list. Is it confirmed for this year? There's a lot of question marks about it, and it could get delayed to next year, and I'm assuming if it doesn't release in 2024, you get a 0 nil pois.
Exactly right. With that shock announcement that it wouldn't have appeared on Phil's list, I'm bringing up one that definitely would have been on, I imagine, Lewis's and probably Spencer's list. It's Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. The new DLC for Elden Ring coming out this year.
That's the game.
Yeah, it's going to do well. Elden Ring absolutely
That's
killed
why
it.
I thought Spencer was going to pick.
Yeah, I thought he was going to pick it as well. My heart was like, no, don't do this to me. But I think it's going to do really well. I mean, FromSoft generally with a DLC absolutely kill it. So I have no reason to imagine why they wouldn't. You know, some of the best DLC that's ever been made has come from them, especially when it comes from like Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne in particular.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really hopeful that Shadow of the Erdtree does deliver. We'll wait and see as we come round to it. But Phil, it's over to you for your next choice, my friend.
Okay, and to carry things on with picking DLC, I'm going to pick some DLC from Nintendo. So I've been looking at Splatoon 3's DLC, which is coming out, the side order, and I know Splatoon 2 has DLC, and that rated at 82 last year. So that did pretty damn well. Splatoon 3 came out at 83, Splatoon 2 was 83, and the original Splatoon was 81. So fingers crossed, Splatoon 3 side order carries that on and gives me a strong score of 80-something.
Yeah, I mean...
Look at this guy coming in with all the research.
I know.
Look at this.
I know. He's playing the game, but I think he's playing like the wrong game. Like everyone's playing like rugby or something, and he's playing football in the way that... So I think some of these are a bit risky from Phil's choices.
I think we're playing football. He's playing Football Manager.
Yeah.
Look
maybe.
at the stats, mate.
Yeah, he is. But then, you know, I'm looking at that number one pick in WWE, and I'm thinking this guy's either playing with like some kind of magic or it's fire, and it's going to explode on him. It's one of the two, right? Phil's list is the one that I'm most scared of, because he either comes in his fucking genius play, or it's just trash. It's never going to be like a middle of the run, is it? Whereas I think the rest of us have all got quite solid ones that I'd quite happily bet on here. But speaking of, Lewis, it's back round to yourself for a double whammy. Lay it on us.
Right, so Spencer's talked about being political on this one. I don't know if I want to go for game. I mean, the whole point of this is you go for games you think are going to score high, right? So I'm going to go with a boring but safe one. I'm going to go with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Microsoft Flight Simulator always reviews well, and this one's got 2024 in there. Just fly your damn planes around the world. And then I'm going to go with one, because I was going to go for Persona 3, and Spencer stole it from me. How dare you? I'm going to pick the other weeb game, Metaphor Read Phantasma, which is also made by the same people who made a Persona knockoff. It's made by the same people who make Persona, and it is coming out to Xbox later this year. Phil, it's back to you, mate.
Thank you very much. And I think, Spencer, you alluded to what I'm picking next, and I am picking a Football Manager game, because these guys, they review well.
What the fuck?
So Football Manager 2024, 84. Football Manager 2022, 85. Football Manager 2023, 81. 2021 was 85. So this is a clear 80 score. I'm going for Football Manager 2025.
Lewis picked that last year.
I did pick it last year, and it did well for me. So, yeah, good call, actually. It's boring but safe, like my Flight Simulator pick.
We're playing to win here. We're not just picking games we like or want to play. I just think these games will score high, and I think Football Manager has got a proven track record.
It's true. It's true.
Fucking boring ass list.
Boring ass list, yeah.
This list. I'm grateful for it, because imagine if that was your games for the year. You're like, oh, I can't wait for 2024. I can't wait for Football Manager, Splatoon 3, Luigi's Mansion 2, and WWE. And I'd be if someone said that to me, I think I'd just take him out back and shoot him. I'd be like, it's no comeback
Bro,
from
people live like that.
people, they just don't know what they're missing, do they? They don't know what they're missing. And speaking of not knowing what they're missing, my next choice is going to be Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero.
Fuck.
The game of games. I swear to God, this game is going to slap tits. It's going to be immense. And all it needs to do is get in the hands of a couple of reviewers who sweat Dragon Ball, and it is going to fly up on their Metacritic, 100%. Dragon Ball games always do well on Metacritic. Not the best, but they're always around the 80s mark. If it can be on the same level as, say, Dragon Ball Fighters,
It can't.
might do. We could be talking in the 90s. There's hope. There's hope. I'm hoping for it, but that is my next choice. Anyone got any thoughts on Sparking Zero?
And you put the Football Manager down. Right, let's have a side bet here. I think Football Manager will outscore your Dragon Ball bullshit game. And let's put a shot on the line.
All right.
Ooh.
Just one?
How many do you want?
I reckon we put 2 on it. I'm confident. I'm really confident in it.
All right. I will virtually shake hands at 2. Let's see what happens, and we'll add it into whatever blowout is after the 2 scores come in. Because it might not happen at episode 90, it might happen at episode 100.
Let's do another bit to this and put another one on for which game sells more as well. Because
this isn't the game we're playing. We're playing Metascore game here.
I want to put another one
just
on
because
for that.
Phil, I think you'll
if
sell
you're
more.
worried and you're changing tact here, Davey, it just goes to show that Football Manager is going to slap tits, as you put it earlier.
Oh, no. It's going to be bottom of the barrel. It's going to be licking Dragon Ball's boots, mate. It's going to be taking the Saiyan armor off and trying to put it on. And for some reason, it doesn't quite fit on because these nerds sitting there with their Excel spreadsheets looking at football scores for their fake teams. I saw a thing the other day where somebody did fake news conferences for their fantasy draft that they post to their mates. So after they have a bad week on their team, on their Division 3 team, they have a backdrop. And they stand there and they answer questions and they get their mates to pose them questions. And
That's
they'll do.
awesome.
It's fucking lame.
That's sick.
No, it's cool if it's like D&D, where it's a fantasy world. It's like, just go and start coaching a team.
Yeah.
You could just do it.
It's what he wants to do. He just doesn't have the qualifications. He can't be around kids.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nonsense play this game.
Yeah.
Chose a nonce game, Phil. But there you go.
Davey, I think Phil's right. It's going to review better, and it'll probably sell better as well, to be honest, even though you don't like it. It is a very popular game. And I know there's a lot of people who like this game, even if you... I know it's not your cup of tea, but it does sell very well every year and review very well. It's not my cup of tea either, I'm just saying.
I'm putting them all in a bag, Lewis. I'm putting them all in a nonce bag. If you play it...
You're a nonce.
You're a nonce. That's the rules. Doesn't make too much, and it's on PC. Come on. But that's enough of that. It is what it is. Alice, over to you for your next pick.
Probably the very obvious pick, and you will be expecting from someone like me. I'm going to pick Princess Peach Showtime. I think it's been talked about, and it's coming out in March.
No, that's a good one. I was tempted to get that myself.
You betcha.
Spence, before your turn, I should also point out that you're going to be picking the 4th and 5th draft picks. So the 5th draft pick is the last of the regular picks, because for our 6th draft pick, we're doing our unannounced fantasy wish game, essentially. So you've got 2 picks here. These are your last 2 proper picks.
Sure.
So make them count.
Will do, lad. Will do. So over to me for my final 2 picks of the orthodox games, let's say, as Lewis just described them as. Let's see. So for my 4th game, I'm going to be going with a game that I've only seen once, but I remember it blowing my tits off. And I haven't thought about it since, but I think it's going to do big numbers this year, and that is Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, great choice. Great choice.
I think that is going to catch us all by surprise, and it's going to ride the success of the Star Wars Jedi games. So I think that's a sleeper hit that we could see come out of the blue. For my final choice, I believe I'm going to be going with Silent Hill 2 Remake.
Oh, you bitch.
Because we are in a renaissance of survival horror. We have been for years. And now survival horror is coming out swinging. So Silent Hill 2 remake. How did Dead Space do? How did the last games can't be mentioned do?
It's risky though, mate, because it's Bloober Team doing it, and they got a hit and miss track record. So people aren't the most positive on this one. So it's risky. I definitely would have had it as my next pick, right? 100% I would have. So really well done.
Pain in saying that then.
Thanks for taking that. But I don't know if it's a slam dunk.
It's not a slam dunk. This is probably the riskiest thing on my list.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But it's a risk I'm willing to take. I think it will do well. And then going back down, now going back the opposite way on the list. Alice, you're up next. What is your next game?
I think for the next one will be called Visions of Mana. Honestly, I know about the Mana series on the Super Nintendo. Even my nephew's been playing the Secret of Mana on the NES, the Super Nintendo Mini. And it's just like, oh, it's actually quite nice because it combines Zelda with the RPG. And I feel that this one making a return after many years, I think based on what I've seen, it's just this one is likely to be a huge hit in say like July or August. So I'm just like added it to the list. So yeah.
It was it was on my my long list, but I wasn't gonna pick it as my last pick. So, but it is definitely, it looks like a fun game for sure. It would have been one I would have picked up later. So it was a good pick, but I wasn't gonna pick it during the draft stage. But nice pick.
Really strong pick, Alice. Great choice. And now I suppose it is back round to myself, and I got a tough one here, like a real tough one. And I think I'm going to go with my gut on this. I don't know if it's going to pay off or not, but my fifth pick is a bit of a risky one, but I've got really good feelings about it and really good vibe. I've had a lot of hype for it for a long time. It is Pacific Drive. Comes out later on in February. It's a smaller game that's exclusive for PlayStation, but it just has that flair to it that I think is going to really stand out and will review really well. It's basically a car management survival game. It speaks to me on so many levels. It looks incredible, and I think it's just going to be really unique. And those kind of unique experiences really do stand the test of time as well as Metacritic. So hopefully it pans out. It comes out in February, which means I probably won't even get to it, even though I'm so hyped for it with Helldivers and Final Fantasy, but we will see. And that rounds out my fifth pick. Mr. Philip Hoy, coming around to you for your fifth. Let's see what wonders you've pulled out of the ether on this list.
Right, okay. Well, I'm stuck between two games, and I don't want to reveal the game I'm not picking because it is a bit of a hit and a hope, I think. Now, the game I've chosen, it's a bit of a risk because it's a new IP coming to PlayStation, developed by Team Ninja. And I know there's a lot of talk about the future of kind of samurai games, with Ghost of Tsushima 2 being talked about all the time. So there's quite a lot of hype out there. And I remember when we were watching either Jeff Keighley or A State of Play previously, and Rise of the Ronin came out, and we were like, oh my God, what the hell was that? Because we were just stunned by the visual fidelity that was coming through the screens into our eyes, and we couldn't believe what we were seeing. So if it lives up to that hype, and my fingers are still crossed, I'm hoping that this scores very, very well when it comes out, I believe in March this year. So my pick is Rise of the Ronin.
Great choice. Absolutely great choice. PlayStation 5 exclusive again. I'm happy with that. It's the first one on your list. I'm actually like, oh, great choice. Great choice.
I honestly think I was going to pick Rise of the Ronin, but I kept thinking this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hack and slash thing and not that samurai game. But then, I don't know.
Yeah, easily to make that difference. I think I've made that mistake on the show before, haven't I?
It was literally last episode I mentioned my anticipated game is The Last Ronin, and you went, they've shown it. I went, no. You went, they showed it like 2 weeks ago. I was like, wrong game, mate. You went, Ronin. I went, yeah, there's 2 games. You went,
yeah.
Cut that out.
Yeah,
we did cut it out.
Yeah, we did cut it out. We did, yeah. So, yeah, peek behind the curtain there.
That's so funny.
But, Lewis, back round to you then.
So this is my last pick, and I'm trying to decide, do I go ultra safe for something I think is going to definitely do well, that's boring, or do I just fucking swing for the fences and go for something fucking crazy that I actually probably won't come out, but if it does come out, it's going to score really well. And I'm thinking I might do the second one. What do you think, lads and Alice?
Do
What
it.
do you think? Do you think I should go crazy or should I go for the safe one?
Do it.
Crazy.
Have some fun.
And it is what I actually don't think is probably coming out, but if the rumours of a Switch 2 are real, this game will probably be a launch title or the December game for the Nintendo Switch 2. It is Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, good
the
luck
game
with
that
that.
I was hyped for all the way back in 2017. And it's probably not coming out, but fuck it. Why not? Live once. You only live once.
I was literally
Metroid
thought
Prime 4 is my final
Mario
pick.
Kart.
Because fuck it. Yeah, well, Mario Kart's not been officially announced, so that could be my unannounced game, which I'm actually tempted. Now you said it. I'm like,
Oh,
should I
damn
pick
it.
Mario? Yeah, so our sixth pick. This is our final. I'm not going to pick Mario Kart, don't worry. Our sixth pick and our final pick is an unannounced game. So basically, you're just going to come up with something that you think is going to come out this year that hasn't been announced by the developer. So you've got to basically be Notre Dame is here, and I thought this would be a bit of fun, just having an announced game on there, just to kind of spice this up a little bit. So I'm going to pick, speaking of Switch 2, the unannounced mainline 3D Mario platformer, which will be probably Odyssey 2 or whatever that is. And that is my unannounced fantasy game, which gets my final slot in the draft.
I think this is likely to come out in 2025 than 2024, because bear in mind, when the Switch came out in early 2017, it's like comes up with all the Zelda and Mario Kart, but then you could say that Odyssey is coming out the same year, and it seems as it will be released much later down the year. But if Switch 2 is going to be announced at the end of 2024, then we're probably expecting Mario Platformer to come out the next year. Because I think it might be a bit too early to announce it. But then
Possibly.
Nintendo may turn around and say, we are actually announcing this as a launch title, just like with the Breath of the Wild, say.
So yeah. So my logic is, if the Switch 2 does the same as they did with the original Switch, which I don't know why they wouldn't, because it's done so fucking well, is that it'll come out in like 3 or 4 months from now. The launch title will probably be Metroid Prime 4, and then the December title, so basically Metroid Prime 4 would be Breath of the Wild, and the Mario Odyssey will be Mario Odyssey 2 in December. That's my logic. I'm hoping that I'm right, but that's my pie in the sky fantasy pick. And I would love to see what yours is, Phil. Do you have any crazy picks that you want to come up with?
Oh, always got crazy picks. But this is one that, we've talked a little bit on the show, on the InPSWeTrust show, and we've been wanting this to come out since the initial release date of the first iteration of the game back in October 2018. And I'm talking about the rumoured Astrobot platformer. So if Astrobot comes back with a second game during 2025, that would be my pick. I know he scores well. He is the mascot for PlayStation. We are PlayStation Podcast. We're in the PlayStation Nation, and I'm back in PlayStation on this one with the rumoured Astrobot platformer.
I like your choice, Phil. I think that's a really good choice.
And that passes things over nicely to Davey. Let's hear your unannounced game.
So, my final game, and I want to know, is the button on? Button's on.
Yeah, gotta be.
Well, I don't have many shots. My final pick, my unannounced game, I think Capcom are going to do a Resident Evil Origins game.
Resident Evil.
That's right. I think what they're going to do is this year there's no game that can't be mentioned coming out. So what do they do instead? They finally do what the fans have been asking for a long time. They release the classic ports of the game that can't be mentioned 1, 2, and 3 with full trophy support onto PlayStation 5, Xbox, everywhere you can play your games. It's an easy option for Capcom to make some serious bank, and it gets people just still frothing at the gash for a bit more game that can't be mentioned. And I'll gladly take the shot for saying that title. At least it makes sense for the Xbox listeners that are watching this. That is my choice for the unannounced game. Anyone got any thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I hope it happens. But other than that, I don't think it will happen because I believe Capcom and Sony have quite a close relationship. And I think Sony would say, don't do that. Just release them onto Classic with Trophy Support.
Maybe.
And so they'd be like, oh, we don't get anything out of that. They're like, we'll pay you.
Maybe. You can still buy them, though, then separately, can't you?
Yeah,
So it still work out.
Yeah, but they'd be good gets to have on Classic for PlayStation.
It'd be class.
That's why I think they might not do that.
Especially number 2, original. Oh, baby. Be so good. But that is my choice. Alice, it's round to yourself for your unannounced game. What do you want to see?
I'm going to be throwing a curveball at it, which could either be a miss or a hit. I'm going to say Mario Kart if the Switch 2 is announced.
We'll do a Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8's like 10 years old now. We are doing new Mario Kart, and it is a game they could just drop like within 3 months without much of a build. I think that's a good call.
I think it's a strong choice. If the Switch 2's coming out, it's got to have a big dick game, and that's definitely one. So, yeah, great choice, Alice. And I suppose rounding it out then, and the final pick is yourself, young Spencer.
Sound. So, over to me for the final choice of the evening. Now, there's a lot of unannounced games. It could be. I mean, I say that. It could be literally anything. It's unannounced. Make it up. Bloodborne 2? Ooh. No chance. Not a chance in hell. No. Bloodborne remake? Ooh, unless. Oh. Yeah, not picking that either. Don't be silly. What I am going for, I'm hitting it safe as hell, because I'm pretty sure this was rumored a while ago, and everyone has been begging for it. Pokemon Black and White are one of the highest metascoring and fan favorite Pokemon games ever. So much so that they actually made Black and White 2, and they've never done that with Pokemon. And it's rumored that similar to Sapphire and Ruby, they're going to be getting a remake this year. So that is my choice for the unannounced game, because if that does come out, big Metacritic scores out the wazoo. So that's what I'm going to go with, even though I would have liked to have said Bloodborne 2.
Pokemon's inconsistent with reviews, but the Pokemon company do seem to yearly do a Pokemon game, and it usually alternates between remakes and new versions. So I think it's likely to come out, but the score might be a bit of another question. But I've been very intrigued by that one. I think, yeah.
Great choices. And so, Lewis, does that conclude our choices for this evening? Does that conclude our draft?
Yeah. So it's called This is the counter pick round, which means we've got to pick the game we think is going to do the worst out of all the games we've selected. You can't pick your own games, but I got to pick someone else's game and say which one I think is going to do the worst or not going to come out, and we get points if they do badly. So, and with the caveat as well, if you pick someone's game, their game is now locked and they can no longer drop that game going forward. So they're stuck with that game if they get counterpicked. So there's a lot of jeopardy here. So I get the first pick with this one, so that's interesting. I don't have a clue. I don't know what to pick. Okay. Phil, I love you, man, but I'm picking WWE 2K24.
Ooh.
That game is not going to get more than a 7 out of 10. Sorry, it's not. I love wrestling, but those games never do well in reviews, so that is my counter pick for draft.
I'll take that one from you, buddy. You are the wrestling expert. You even run your own channel about wrestling. So for any viewers and listeners
Potato Pro Wrestling
that are interested in wrestling, you want to head over to Lewis's channel. Links will be in the description of the show.
Potato Pro Wrestling. Thank you for the plug.
Phil, it comes across to you to have your revenge. What are you picking for your counter pick?
My counter pick, seeing as Lewis picked one of mine, I'm going to actually dash you down, bruv. I'm going to go for Indiana Jones. I don't think this game is going to be a hit. There's a lot of hype around it, yes, and it did look good at the preview. So I'm thinking this game is just going to bomb, the same as most of the things that come out on Xbox at the moment. So let's see where it hits.
Ooh.
Dunking on his first choice. First choice dunks across the board. Jesus Christ, these two are going to war. They're going to war.
Can we have a bet that I'm pretty sure Indiana Jones is going to review better than WWE 2K24? I'm just going to say.
Well, that's kind of
I don't mind doing a bet.
Yeah, unfair bet.
That's kind of unfair.
Just say it.
Hey, we can have a bet, but you will actually have to drink the shot, Lewis, because there's been a number of times you've been on the show and you're like, oh, I don't drink.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah. Deal. I will. I'll
You
drink.
got to man up. If
it's not
you're big
happening,
enough to
so-
make the bet, you're big enough to sink the shot. That's what we say on the show, don't we?
That's fine.
Or we will be saying that.
Never said that.
We never said that.
Never
before.
said that in our life.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to win the bet, so it's fine.
It's funny because we're recording this section of the show before the main section of the show,
So he's
so I'll
gonna
make
say
sure
it
to
on the
drop
show.
that in earlier, multiple times.
I can't wait for that.
Oh, I love you, Phil. You're so fun. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, there's no way in hell I'm taking that shot, so it's fine. Who's next?
So for my choice, I've got a big selection here of games that I'd love to dunk on. I'm going to go for Metaphor Refantasio. I honestly feel like that game, no one's going to care. And I think it's going to be reviewed and everyone will say like, it's just a rip-off. Even though it's made by the same people, right? I feel like people just would be really unfair towards it and it would get dunked on. So I think that's going to be the one that's going to get absolutely rinsed. So you're stuck with that one now, Lewis. Enjoy that. That's going to be your Redfall this year, I reckon.
I mean, it's an Atlas game made by the people who made Persona, and all the weebs love Persona, so I'm not worried. But that's funny. It's fine. Just keep picking. Depends where you're going to take. Which one are you going to pick for mine next? I'm not taking it personally or anything, you bastards. No, no, it's Alice's turn anyway. I think.
Yeah. So
no, it's fine. I'm not sure if it's going to be any good. It's not my cup of tea anyway. So
I think I'm going to pick Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, just to think whether this is going to get worse or not. Because I think when I played the last version of it, it's just like last time it's like I played it, and it's just like, I don't think this is particularly interested. But then I just
Lock
feel
it
like
in, Alice.
it's-
Lock it in.
Yeah, it's just a bit difficult to like get through that.
do it, you coward! Pick me.
I love that you've got the MO here, Alice, straight away. Like what was going to happen here. I'm glad that you've cottoned on to that so quick, Alice. Well done.
You
Well done.
fuckers. You motherfuckers.
And I suppose it comes over to
It's
Spence
fine.
to end it. What's your
Fine,
counter
yeah.
pick, my friend?
Okay, let me pull up. the
Which one you
actual
picking?
thing.
Metroid Prime or Avowed?
I knew you were going to say that. Oh, fuck.
Okay, so I've got the list up, and I have had a little peruse through, and they are all phenomenal games. But I've had to choose one, and the one I think is going to do bad is Avowed. Just,
Wow.
I gotta hop
Okay,
on the
guys.
trend. I don't know what to pick, and I mean, if I can hop on a trend, I can hop on a trend. So
Hop
that
on-
is my counter pick.
Hop on the train, baby.
Alice, you're going to have to take over with the cameos for that. When they want Xbox people, Alice, you're going to have to go and join them because I'm not coming back. Fuck this.
That's okay. I'll probably like go in and just be convinced to join the PlayStation side. And he's gone. Yeah.
Good choice.
But yeah, I think
Oh,
this is a
dear,
really
yeah.
good way of like ending this.
Just fucking with you. I didn't actually go. Yeah, trolling me. Great idea.
Well,
Thanks, guys.
That has been it. That
It's like, hey guys, let's do the fantasy league this year. It'd be so much fun. Let's all
is
do the
there?
fantasy
I
league.
don't
Let's
think
have a
so.
little
It's done.
laugh together. La la la. It's like,
Done.
fucking pick on, pick on Lewis. You motherfuckers.
well, time will tell who ends up laughing at the end of the year. We got a long old road ahead, a lot of games to come out. Hopefully they all hit and they're all great, right? That's what we all hope. But on a selfish point, I hope mine do better than yours. And that's all I'm going to say about it, guys.
So I have to mention as well. So that's the end of the draft part of the fantasy league. But throughout the year, you can drop games and you can add games. I did mention this before the podcast when we were recording, but if you can do secret bets whenever there's a new game announced or if someone else hasn't drafted this game. So you can bet from anything from $1 to $100. You have a $100 limit, so don't spend it all on one game like Alice did last year. You want to basically bid on games that you want to add to your list. you got 13 games to fill the list. You got another counter pick to put out by the end of the year as well. So if there's a PlayStation State of Play or an Xbox Direct or a Nintendo Direct, keep an eye out. and you can add games after that, or whenever you see a game that you fancy and it's not on the list, pick it up. The games get added to the draft on Saturday night, so if you don't have to panic if you see a game that you like and it's like you think, oh, I haven't got a chance to put it up, you got a week to put everything up. So there's that. So it's anything from $1 to $100, and so if someone outbids you, they get the game, but if you get the highest bid, you get the game, and it's added to your list. So this will be a thing that goes on till December this year. This is not a one-off thing. This is something that we can keep working on as the year goes through. And I think that's everything that I need to mention.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to be joined by Team Xbox today. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Lewis. As Lewis said, it's something that we're going to be going back over as the year goes on. So we shall see how our choices shake out. It's a long old year ahead, but only one thing's for certain, and is that we got a great year of games ahead. So we shall see how it shakes out, and hopefully, guys, SSJ Productions coming in first. But we'll see. Long old way to go. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for checking out the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have, there's a couple of ways to support us and X Marks the Box as podcasts. Go into the below links, have a little look at everything, all in the description of the shows for both of us and the stuff that's on screen right now. Check it all out. Go in and support us. We're both growing our channels, and it's nice to be able to stretch across the ether of video games and reach out to the other side. So thank you ever so much for being here with us today. Thank you all ever so much. Now I'll hand us back to our normal podcast hosts to end their shows.
How dare you, Alice? How dare you portray me like that? You all threw me under the bus. What's going on? My heart, I feel really sad. Like, why would you do that to me? Why? Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
I have to admit, you got really destroyed there.
I know,
but then
what the hell?
I think that's already coming from someone who just joined in with the boys.
Yeah, the
Oh
bullying.
yeah, it's just like me and my boys watching Xbox. Yeah,
being bullied again. It's like being
but
in
anyway,
high
it's just
school.
like the funny thing is that
I'm telling my mum on you.
You've been featured as the main guest for for many episodes. It's just like you were featured as a guest, didn't get invited, but then when I came in, it's just I had a very fantastic time with the lads, and
great.
I know I've made a bit of a iffy impression, but I just hope like my presence means I can get to be featured more.
Yeah.
So, but apart from that, we just had a very fun time.
It was fun.
All five of us and lots of extra fun. But I just hope I can like improve for next time. But then now the Fantasy Critic is now underway. This time with all five of us, because I thought it's only going to be like me, you, and Phil on. But then when I came in and realized, I was surprised because it's like I came in and I saw Spencer and Davey.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh shit, I'm on InPSWeTrust. I'm on the PlayStation podcast. And it's just when I made the bombshell, it's like I cancelled Game Pass and like, oh, you traitor!
How could you do this? Wow. No, it's fine. Yeah, no, it was a crazy one because.
But I'm not gonna lie.
It was good.
I'm not gonna lie. It's just like I cancelled it in the moment because I can say the reasons there, and this is a bit of exclusive content because we're focusing on the topic of the show, and it's because one, I made a resolution I'll be reading and writing more, and I like to read books. So at the moment, I'm like trying to go through the backlog of my books, but I also got a backlog of games to catch up on my Switch, on my Xbox. Like, there's a lot of games there, and there's been a lot of praise about Control and Mass Effect and like the recent games. Yeah. So, but that doesn't mean it's not over. I can always go for Game Pass Gold. But I think for many other games like Power World, for instance, I could end up seeing myself go back to Game Pass Ultimate because it's only like double the price of Game Pass Gold.
Yeah, I mean Power World is so much fun.
I just cancelled the Game Pass for the moment, and while I'm trying to deal with my well-being and trying to get back in routine. But I think the problem is it's just like winter is like really ruins your motivation. I was like going into the gym trying to get fit. Then Christmas came and thought, oh, it's over. I'm just got to go back. And then I'm like, I don't want to go into this whole grind.
The
But
grind.
yeah, January kind of sucks though. Very miserable month.
It does. I'm not a fan of January. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah, but you know, catch up on your books and stuff. I've got a massive backlog. Like I think I said to you, I'm a bit disappointed that all Xbox games are in the second half of the year, apart from Hellblade 2. And Hellblade 2 is only like 7 hours, but that means I have time to catch up on my backlog, so I'm not too mad. So yeah, interested. That was a lot of fun. The draft, I enjoyed that. I mean, I'm just gonna try not to take it personally, and also think the fact that you all just see me as a threat, and I'm just gonna just take it as that. It's like obviously you all just know I'm gonna win, so you're all just trying to sabotage me, which is fine. Big head.
Well, I don't really see you as a threat. I don't really see you as a threat, really. You just seems like more humble and really good. But I just really see it as just like I just doing those things just to have a really huge laugh at your reactions.
Yeah, that's the thing. They know if they want to get viewership, they get me to get mad because I last podcast I was on with theirs, I had a couple of rants and they really enjoyed it. So bloody Mary Jane and Spider-Man is a fucking bitch. Redfall. Ah! No, we love those guys. Those guys are great. Check out InPSWeTrust as well. I agree. It was such an honor to be on there for this podcast. As I said, I was the one who arranged the Fantasy League, but they've put all the effort into recording and editing it and all that and getting everyone together. So I really appreciate them giving us the time to do that. Because otherwise it would have just been me and Alice again and maybe one of them. Thank you. So thank you guys. We really appreciate it. So that's our show for the week. Thank you so much. But Alice does have one final question for me.
Yes.
Ooh.
Well, before we get that, I also thank for all the guys there for attending, and I'm so blessed because it's been planned for months, and we're all going to be in for a huge talk. But I know we could have spoke more outside of the Fantasy Critic thing, but I just hope means it's more in the future. And because of how much backstabbing I have, they probably draw me in for something else than Xbox. Judas. Like, join the PlayStation side.
You Judas.
But anyway, everything in the magazine back in the noughties, it's just they
You're not meant to join the PlayStation side. You're meant to destroy them. Oh, Star Wars. No, I enjoyed it. That was fun. But yeah, they're definitely on your side here. I'm definitely the the joke. Anyway, yeah. So that. Did you have anything else to say, or should we move on to your final question? Final question.
Well, originally, I was kind of thinking is it the X Marks the Box podcast, but it turns out it's a PlayStation one. But then we can share the video and put it on both of our channels.
Yeah.
So we have a focus on the Fantasy Critic as well as focus on InPSWeTrust. Yeah. Check out these guys; they're totally awesome. And I think they would put a lot of shorts of us taking piss shots at Lewis for extra lols and views.
You bastards. Yeah. Yes.
But anyway, this leads to the final question of the show. Originally, it was going to be focusing on the Fantasy Critic, but I think maybe we just add a little bit, just add a bit of extra herb essence into it. You know, herb's green and spice has been blue.
Ganja man. The ganja is in the green herb. Yeah, man.
Yeah. But anyway, so let's do last question for Lewis. I got a question for you, Chief. I don't know if we're doing a series of the cues.
We could do that. I could do that.
Anyway, so beats me. So I got a final question for you, and this might be interesting. So, I'm going to ask you, have you checked out the Gladiators on the BBC?
Random. Yes, I have. I like. So for the people in the Americas or anywhere else in the world that's not the UK, there was this cult TV show in the 1990s in the UK called Gladiators, and then they cancelled it. I don't know, in the 2000s, I guess. And now they've brought it back, and they've kept it just as camp and over the top as it used to be. Where you have contestants fighting gladiators, and it's hosted by Bradley Walsh, who hosts everything. Go on, you had a question, sorry.
And his son.
And his son,
Yeah, so...
Barney.
Yeah, that one. But, yeah, that's right. The Gladiators is a return of a show that came between 1992 all the way to 2000.
Oh, wow.
And had a lot of successful seasons, which according to the documentary is 10 times more than the American one. So, yeah, this show is based on American gladiators. For those in the North America, they've been... Because I recently watched the documentary and talked about the American gladiators between 1989 to 1994. Started out rudimentary, but then becomes like a much-loved show in America. And... yeah, there's a documentary on Netflix that talks about it, which is called Muscles of Mayhem. Check it out.
I'll have to check that out.
But yeah, basically there's a British version of a show which it's based on American gladiators, and it went on for much longer and had a lot of fun personalities. Yeah. And then it's been rebooted like twice. First one is like a reboot and has a lot of changes to it, and that came out on Sky in 2008.
I remember
whereas the one of the BBC, which comes out this year, is pretty much the most faithful to the original.
Yeah.
And it comes with original themes tune, which I totally dig. So nostalgic for it. Yeah. And it's just like, they just treating it really good. So I watched about 2 episodes, and I just couldn't wait for more, just to see the gladiators and have a lot of fun as well. Yeah. And it's really inspiring to see all those people in and like having a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
As for the Walsh father and son, it's all right.
I like Bradley Walsh.
Could have been better, but then at least they just like, they just add the fun to the show, and also you have like the gladiators is like really good, but it's just more like a refresh because in 2008, Wolf is like doing the lead of the pack thing, and I think he's probably the only one who returned. But then I don't know about the recent series, but I just hope the one on the BBC continues on for many more seasons.
It seems
That's
fun.
all I could say. But yeah, go for more episodes. Yeah.
I have watched a couple of them myself. It's very silly. If people who've never heard of this show, essentially, if you've heard of Wipeout or Ninja Warrior, it's kind of like that. You got like obstacle courses and stuff, but it's usually normal everyday people versus the gladiators, which are like super fit people who are like who were in the Olympics and shit like that, and they've all got character names, which is very camp and over the top. Like the ones that I remember from watching the show, like this like recent one, they're trying to be like Wolf from the original one, who was like the super heel bad guy. Cobra is the guy. He's like, and he's really pissed off.
It's a Viper, is it?
Viper, that's it. I thought it was called Cobra. And then there was Legend, who thinks he's really cocky, and he's like, the light's got in my eyes, and stuff like that. It was very funny. But yeah, it's very camp and very silly. And I love wrestling, and this does feel very like it feels like very much like 80s wrestling, which I'm down for. It's fun, and it's just good fun Saturday night TV. And it is fun. I have been watching it. I've watched 2 of them. I think there's been like 3 or 4. I saw the first week and I saw last week's, but I think there's one in the middle I missed, I think. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Very silly. And I would be rubbish at it. I could probably do the ones where you run through people because I'm like a brick wall. I'm 6'5" and I'm like, bleh. So if I just run directly at someone, I'd be okay. But when I actually have to like run up a treadmill or swing from something or climb a rope, then I would be in trouble. Yeah, for sure.
Oh gosh, even the most fit people have struggled to go through those things.
Yeah.
But to really get to be part of a gladiators, you have to like keep up with the gladiators because these gladiators they've been training for like 4 to 6 hours on like between 5 to 6 days a week.
Yeah.
I could only manage like about an hour for 3 sessions and like 3 hours.
Yeah,
I'm
for
like,
that.
oh gosh, I feel as if I need to push myself more. But these guys are like eating, sleeping, and drinking all the exercise, and it's like it's all part of their lives. They must get fit. And
The
like,
PS
wow.
The PSV Trust guys are in quite good shape. We should see if we can get one of them on Gladiators. Just nominate Davey or Phil or Spencer on there. my gut instinct was Davey, but I don't know. Spencer's quite a competitive little guy. I think he'll be up for it. And then Phil will be just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Can you imagine Phil
we
on
did
there?
see
That'd
his
be
bare
amazing.
chest on one of the earlier episodes as well.
Check that out if you want. It's on their YouTube channel. We're still beating them in subscribers, so
Yeah.
I'm still happy about that, even though they make more content than us. And yeah, it's because Xbox is better, just so. But yeah, thank you for your final question. It's a bit random, but I love
that's
it.
like comparing the quantity.
Over quality.
Yeah, it's just like comparing them with us is like comparing quantity with quality.
Ooh, they're not having you on the show again. You just said they have no quality. Ouch.
No. We are quality. We don't have so much videos up, and we still have like a lot of subscribers. Whereas InPSWeTrust is still like making more videos.
Oh, you're funny. We love you guys, I swear. Oh, it's made my day. I've had such a fun time
It's all
with
right.
you tonight. I've had such a
it's
fun
just
time
like,
with the draft in this
Just let
podcast.
there be console wars. so-
Console wars.
Yeah.
Xbox. Yeah. Wakanda forever. I mean Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was fun. I've had a really fun time with you doing these podcasts tonight. Thanks for coming back. I know you've taken a bit of a hiatus from the podcast, so I really appreciate you coming on. I'm going to try and make some more podcasts going forward, and yeah, maybe we have you on again at some point, and maybe I can try and get one of the other guys on here at some point as well. But yeah, thank you for coming back, Alice. I really appreciate your time, and it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself.
No worries.
Yeah, I think that's it for this.
Yeah.
for the
It's a
bumper episode.
Yeah, I think we'd love to do more of these, but if anyone like wishes to get on Xbox the Box, like let us know.
Yeah,
But apart from that, it's just like we could do the episode per month, but it depends on what we're dealing with because since we'll often be out of the loop with the news, we're probably like just focusing on the topic and see how it goes. But anyway, thank you to everyone who's subscribed and got up to over 300 subscribers.
yeah, really appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching, and we really appreciate your time. And I think Alice is frozen.
So with that, yeah, it's cool.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're back from outer space. So thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. And comment, like, subscribe. And until next time, to sweet. Let us guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.